Still on the National Sports Festival, the Team Delta emerged overall winner of the 22nd Games in Ogun, securing 122 gold, 96 silver and 105 bronze medals. This gave Delta a total of 322 medals, placing them at the top of the final medals table at the conclusion of the event. Now, we'll leave you with this report by Arise correspondent Aaron Jola, who sat with the co-chairman of the festival, Tilewa, Adebajo.
Now let's take a look at the games itself. We decided for the first time in the history of the sports festival to host and put all the athletes in one location. And thankfully, Babcock University obliged us, and they have a state-of-the-art facility there. They have an IPP. They have fantastic hostels. There's light, water, 24 hours, and they have a massive industrial kitchen. And they ran a fantastic operation in terms of catering for the athletes. So apart from, the pomp and pageantry, the most important thing in the festival was the welfare of the athletes. And I think that this was something that we did not take lightly. And thanks to our cooperation and the governor's intervention with the Babcock University Vice Chancellor, I think we delivered on that. And as you know, I've had my lunches at Babcock, and I understand the quality of the food that went there. Then, of course, the logistics that we had to face was shuttling all the athletes from Babcock in Elisha all the way to Adebajo. And, of course, we had to get close to over 100 buses. And within those 100 buses, we had to build in another redundancy of about 20 buses to be able to run that logistic operation. So for me, I think that was the most challenging part of the games. And I think so far we pulled that off. It has worked quite well. We're now, that is why we feel that the work, that the effort that the government has put in, the investment he has made to upgrade infrastructure, I think everything has all paid off. The main problem in any of the games, we did not have any issues with athletes' welfare in these games. Okay. Everything was provided for food, water, light, everything was done. None of those issues came out. And that was one of the areas we focused on significantly. So it is important to understand that the reason why a lot of all these things happen is because of vested interest. Either the officials that are responsible to be able to do these things begin to shortchange, and that was not going to happen under Governor Adebajo's watch. And that was not also going to happen under my own watch. Everything was done possibly to eliminate all these things. So anything that has happened, there's nothing that we've asked the governor to approve that he hasn't approved. So there might be delays with timing, there might be delays with reconciliations, but as I speak to you, there's nothing that needs to be paid that will not be paid or has not been approved. My priority right now is that the governor made a promise to our athletes in Ogun State. We've had this, our Ogun State athletes have done spectacularly well. Fantastic. And I must give credit to our athletes. I must give credit to the Honorable Commissioner for Sports for organizing his athletes, for getting them ready for the games. Credit to the governor for supporting and funding the training of these athletes extensively to perform at this level. Nobody expected us to do that well, not even to talk about winning the gold medal in football last week, which we did. So I think let us address that and thank them for their performance. But also don't forget there's a reason why they also did well. Because the governor promised that every athlete that came back with a gold medal is going to get 2.5 million. So my own priority right now is that as far as allowances are concerned, allowances have been approved. We need to have verification. Don't forget that in Nigeria, just as much as we have ghost workers, we're beginning to see some ghost athletes. So we're getting through verification. A lot of all these accreditation types you see, some people have started to forge them to gain access to facilities and to do all kinds of things. So that has been sorted out.
You were talking about the athletes and the 2.5 million there, so you can just pick it up from there.
Okay, so my key priority right now is the fact that all allowances have been approved by the governor, and we have just as you have ghost workers, we might be looking at ghost athletes because some people have started to forge the accreditation. So what is happening now is that those allowances will be settled latest by today, tomorrow, because of a lot of reconciliation and verification. But like I said, my focus is the fact that these athletes have done very well. So we're waiting for the games to end so that the 2.5 million that the governor has promised all the other athletes, we can reconcile how much gold we have, how much silver we have, and how much bronze that we have. So that we can now get that budget to the governor to approve so that the governor can deliver on his promise. Because the reason why these athletes did so well is because they have been incentivized and they have been motivated. So the governor is ready to deliver on that promise. So that is my priority right now, to ensure that all those promises, the governor can now have a ceremony where we can keep these promises.
So finally, sir, as we close down, would you say that sports is a real economic driver in 2025? Or we still have a lot of catching up to do? Because we saw the economy of sports being on display in Ogun 2024. But talk to us, when you look at the numbers, you're a corporate man, you look at the economic side of life. Are we there yet? And what if we're not there yet, what can we do to get there?
Thank you very much for that question, Aaron. You know, you talk a lot about sports and the challenges, the funding, allowances have not been paid to the players, that they're putting to players. This has to do with how you approach to how you run the game. Our approach to this game has been private sector driven. The key people that funded this thing, go and look at the brochures. The corporate sponsorship for sports for this festival, a significant amount of corporate sponsorship here that we got. And that is the way, because corporate sponsorship is tax deductible. And a lot of companies now need to begin to position themselves we need to get, the companies are looking for viable avenues for them to invest or support sports. Without corporate sponsorship, sports cannot work. And that is one of the things we have not got right in Nigeria.
Okay.
The Premier League Barclays has the Premier League on lockdown. Do you think Barclays is ready to give it up? It's so good that not only did Barclays lock it down, but Liverpool also, Standard Chartered also went into Liverpool. Not to talk about the cost. So that is what you need to do. What we have proven with this sports festival is that if you create a platform that is viable and you run it properly, the corporates will put money in. And one of the things the governor did was that he went out and he went and talked to all the corporate sponsorships and all the factories in Ogun State here. And they supported the festival fully. And that was why we had to deliver something that was world class. Now that the corporates have seen this, next time the governor is doing something that is of this level, they will support it. And that is what the Nigerian Football Federation, the rest of them should emulate. Because if you give the corporate sponsors the right platform, they will fund it. Because I am a football club owner. Playing football in the Nigerian Premier League is not viable because I cannot make money. I'm spending 800 million to play in the Premiership. But if I win the Premiership, maybe if I get 100 million, I'm lucky. Why would I spend 800 million and only make 800? Who is going to underwrite that 700 million loss? That is why Stationery Stores does not play in the Premier League. So why don't we have TV rights in our league? Because we haven't created the right platforms or the right structures to attract the corporate sponsorship. So if there's anything we want to take away from this sports festival, look at what Governor Adebajo has done. Look at what we have done as the LOC here to be able to attract corporate sponsorship. And that is why we have to put that sort of event in place. And that is why we have to make sure that everything is on point. So, Aaron, that is that. The potential for sports in this country is still untapped.
Honestly, thank you very much for your time.